Now we will discuss about how we can access the values inside the objects using dot notation as well as the square bracket notation. So for example, we are having one object called Shinobi. Here we are having the name, family, age, village, is ninja. All these are key values, keys, and this inside for this key we are having this value for family green, age, village, and is ninja. These are the key value pairs for this Shinobi object. So how we will use the dot notation as well as the square bracket notation to access the values inside this Shinobi object. So for example, if I want to access console.log of Shinobi object name and use the dot symbol, and what key or what value we have to access, that key value you have to mention after that dot notation. Name, I want to access the name of the Shinobi object. I give a name and I run the code. See what is giving correct value, right? For this name we are having this value like that. For example, if I want to access the name from the square bracket notation, Shinobi square bracket name, we have to give inside square bracket. If I run the code, got the answer, right? So whenever you have to use the square bracket, inside the square bracket you have to give the name in a square in double quotation or single quotation, then only it will accept that key. So for example, actually key values always in JavaScript, object keys cannot be a number, boolean, null or undefined type. So what JavaScript object keys cannot be a number, boolean, null or undefined. So for example, in Shinobi object I created one as a key value key, and for that key I'm taken this as the value. So if I want to print console dot log of Shinobi dot 1, okay, using dot notation, when I am running the code, see we are getting syntax error missing. So we cannot directly access these number, boolean, or null or undefined keys with dot objects. If I want to access the dot value inside the key, now I am running, see I got the access, right? So if I want to use, whenever instead of in such a case, when we are having one number as a key, so if I want to access that number key value, you have to use the square bracket notation. As well as, for example, you are having first name, instead of name you are having first name or last name, like that keys last name. Like that case, if you have, so in such case, if we want to access the values for those keys, you cannot shinobi dot first name. So I'm using the dot notation, console dot log shinobi first name. So when I run the code, see what will happen. So you cannot access using dot notation. Whenever you are having this kind of strings, space between these strings, you cannot access directly. So in such cases, you have to use the bracket notation to access those values. So this is about the how we have to use the dot notation and the square bracket notation on the object, where we have to access the keys as well as the uh, if you want to shinobi dot, if you want to assign middle value, middle name is equals to hi. Now console dot shinobi. So I'm commenting on this one. Run. See, middle name is got. So if you want to add any object inside the already predefined object, or if you want to access the values inside the object, you can use the dot notation as well as the square bracket notation. Now we will discuss how the shallow copy as well as the deep copy will work. So I am having first person object, as so I want to copy this first person object into the second person object, and in the second person object I want to change the name for the second person object. So here I given the name, I am reassigning the name here for the second person, and now I'm printing these two objects. So what it is printing, instead I'm changing in the for second person's name, but it is changing both the objects. So we want to avoid those such cases. So this kind of copy is called shallow copy. So if I want to, instead of directly assigning those first object to directly copying the first object to second person, third person, with the now change the third person name to L. Now print the third person object. Now run the code. See, here this one for first, these two, sorry, I will comment out. Now run. See, this is for the first person, second person, and the third person. So what it here happened, I'm by using the dot notation, I copied the first person object to third person object. From there I change the name of the third person to help. Now I print. What here, this kind of copying is called deep copying. So it's okay when we are here, we are in the first person, we are having only name and age. So there is no nested object inside the first person. We are not including the nested object. So when we include the nested object inside this first person, so address is also having another object. Address is also another object. So when we are accessing or changing any, so here I created the first person object. Now I want to change the third person. I copied third person address. Third person address dot apartment to C. Now I will run the both objects and I am commenting this three blocks. Now I am running the code. See, third person. Okay. Third person. See, when instead of these, when we are having nested objects, right, the name is not changed but the address got changed. So here also spread operator is not working on the nested object to copy from the first object to another object. Here what we have to do is, so instead of using the spread operator, we have to copy the const fourth person is equals to this one. Person, and if I change fourth person address start apartment to D, and now print fourth person. Now run the code. See, these two are printed So instead we change the apartment in the fourth apartment, but it's not changed in the first first person's address. So this is how it will work. This is the differentiation between the how the deep copy as well as the shallow copy will work on the objects. Thank you.